Virginia Tech moves to 10-1 and finally gets ranked in the AP Top 25 after a win against Oklahoma State. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co-host, Steve Feck, and we're going to break down the now number 24 Virginia Tech Hokies defeating Oklahoma State 70-65 in the Basketball Hall of Fame Invitational. As always, Steve, we have seen these Hokies look good all season long. They're finally looking like they're getting some of that credit they much deserve after the wins against North Carolina, Dayton, and now Oklahoma State in the month of December. We finally see them ranked in the top 25. Let's talk about this last game here on Sunday between Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State. Fantastic outing here. And again, we saw some really good play by the guy that I know you have had a pleasure enjoying watching all season long in Sean Padula.
Yeah, he led the way scoring, but you know who stood out for me in this game? It was Justin Mutz. He was the spark for Virginia Tech winning this game. He had 3 steals late in the game, all leading to points, whether they be from the free throw line or from the floor. He hit a couple. I think he had 2 big free throws there in the last 2 minutes. Virginia Tech. Before I get too deep into the numbers here, let me ask you a question. Are the 2 best East Coast basketball programs so far in 2022-23, are they both located in the state of Virginia?
If you're going to ask that and lean towards the aspects of defensively, I wouldn't disagree with you, especially after seeing what we've seen with defensive play. For example, this Oklahoma State game, they had 17 turnovers against the Pokes did 17 turnovers. And, the Hokies had 11 steals off that. So, man, I can't disagree too much. There might be a conversation where somebody else could sneak into there. Obviously, Virginia, the Cavaliers are doing some great things. They're ranked number 2 in the country for a reason. But, you can't count out Virginia Tech right now. I think that they have been very underrated all season long. Remember, this is a team that lost in the Charleston Classic by a shot with 2 seconds to go against Charleston. That is their only loss on the season. Every single other game they've played, they have – that was the only game that was really one possession too. If you be honest, every other game was pretty commanding. They really took charge of every single game so far. So, I wouldn't rule out that possibility, thing that some of the best teams, maybe not, we might be missing one. Okay. And if you think we're missing one, let us know in the comments. But with Virginia Tech, this team is really impressive. When we see them go in the ACC play, and I feel like we've said this so many times this season now, that we are at a point where we thought that last season's ACC tournament was just kind of like a lucky draw for them. They just got lucky. Well, they are proving that was no luck, Steve. That was no luck at all.
They just found something, and it's not just the coaching staff that found something or saw something in the players. They saw it in themselves. And even though there's been some turnover with this roster from last year to this year, but even with that, for the most part, the core is there, and they're a complete team. Earlier when we were recording a different bit this evening, I was talking about Marquette and how it's a team, it's a complete team effort every night, and that's why I say Virginia Tech is the second best team on the East Coast, because the teams you could talk about, UConn.
Yeah, UConn. I think that's the team that we'd have to keep in the consideration too. UConn. They still haven't lost.
No, they haven't lost, but I don't know that it's a team effort. I have to watch them more. To be fair, I have to watch them more than I have. But I have seen Virginia Tech a bunch, and to me, Virginia Tech is a better team than UConn. But again. Right. But again, it's the perception in people's minds until they watch them. Okay, I just copped. Now, we're hardly, CBS Sports or, our NCAA.com here, at Slasher U. But we do a pretty good job of trying to cover as many games, as many conferences as we humanly can. So, but there is a limit on how many games we can watch. In your case, you have a young child and a wife, and I'm sure you want to keep them under the same roof as you. So you can't be watching college basketball 24 hours a day, So, but more of these writers, they don't have an excuse. That's their job. Okay, they have families too, But their job during a season, if they're a college basketball writer, is to watch college basketball games. That's their job. Okay, even if you're just assigned to one particular conference or one team, your job is to watch college basketball games. So watch them. There's no reason that Virginia Tech is not ranked. That was not ranked before this ranking. There's none. There's zero reason why they were not.
Yeah, well, thankfully, we finally got a number next to their name because it is deserving, whether you believe that they're one of the top teams in the East or not. I'm going to go out on the limb and say they are the third best right now, even though, again, they're only a 2-point way, a 2-second shot away from being undefeated, just like UVA and UConn. I'm leaning a little towards UConn being that second best team. I think the rankings help in that aspect and that aspect alone. Virginia Tech's been ranked a long time ago, though. We talked about that weeks ago, Steve.
Right.
As for Virginia Tech, we're going to see them really, they have, before they get into ACC play at the end of the year, they start off against Wake Forest. They'll finish against Grambling, and actually they'll play Boston College in their first one. So Grambling's their last non-conference game. That'll come at you Saturday on ACC Network at 4:00 Eastern. Should be a good matchup. Again, Virginia Tech now 24th in the nation, defeating Oklahoma State 70-65. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What you thought about this game, and what do you think about the Hokies? Do you like Steve's take here, as you think that he thinks that they are one of the better teams in the East Coast? Do you believe it? And Steve, you got anything else to add?
But just real quick, we didn't really talk about Oklahoma State much in this game because we're so enamored of Virginia Tech. But I thought Avery Anderson III, I thought he had a great game for the Cowboys. I mean, he led the team with 15 points. He had 4 assists. He was involved in just about everything that Oklahoma State was doing. And this was not a gimme game. This was a tough game. Oklahoma State gave Virginia Tech everything that they could handle. But I felt bad. I thought we should at least go out and mention what a great game that Avery Anderson had, because he really was. He was fun to watch, and I'm sure he's going to be the guy they key on it. And when the Big 12 conference games begin, other teams are going to have to key on him. Otherwise, he's going to have big nights and blow people out of the gym.
We're going to have plenty to talk about the Big 12. As we've mentioned time in and time out on this show, Big 12 is a tough conference, maybe one of the toughest, if not the toughest conference in all of college basketball. Let's just put it in perspective here. Oklahoma State is now 6-4. They have the worst record right now in the Big 12. That's what's crazy about it. Everybody else, no one else has 4 losses. You have a crap load of teams with 1 loss, some 2 losses, and then Oklahoma and Oklahoma State have 3 and 4 losses respectively. Other than that, this Big 12 is loaded. So Big 12 conference play, we'll be talking about those teams a lot. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. And thanks for watching SlasherU.